One-Man Combat Battle Reports. Today we've got SAGA and we are in the Middle East. We're going to be watching the Saracens versus Milites Christi, which is known as the Christian Order. Basically, they're the Crusaders, and that's what I'm going to call them throughout this, because I'll probably butcher the real name. In fact, I probably already have. Let's look at the sides. Here are the Saracens. They mostly have light cavalry with bows and some javelins. Basically, they're really good at running up, doing a bunch of damage, and then running away. They also have some camels back there, which cause horses to panic, and they've got foot archers. Let's hear what the player has to say.
Hi, my name's Galen. We'll be playing Chris on the Cross, and I'll be playing the Saracens, going up against the Christian military order. And the issue with Saracens is they're a very finesse army. You want to try and get in, you're shooting in as much as you can to weaken your foe, and try and avoid melee as long as possible. So we'll see.
Those who play SAGA will know that you use boards to make all of your moves. The Saracens have a lot of actions that include shooting and moving quickly, also reacting to the enemy's actions. So they're an interesting faction. Now on to the Crusaders. They are also very cavalry driven, although in their case they are mostly shock driven. They're heavy cavalry with infantry that has crossbows, and some heavily armored melee infantry. Let's hear what this player has to say.
Hello, I'm David, and I'm here as the spokesperson for the military orders from this particular battle. The plan is to go forth and kill infidel.
The Crusaders, or Milites Christi, whichever you want to go with, works in a very unique way. They can choose actions that build up their piety, and then that piety can be used to boost certain types of attack. A lot of their standard attacks involve heavy shock cavalry or infantry, which is why they work well with this kind of an army. So let's get everything set up on the field. The Saracen leader is just outside his tent, while the Crusader leader is behind one of the stone buildings. The Saracen archers are inside that oasis, while the Crusader infantry are inside the buildings. Saracens are setting up their light cavalry in the open, mostly on the left flank, placing their camels in the middle, and their Hearthguard heavy units on their right at a bit of an angle. The Crusader cavalry are putting their Hearthguard on their far left. They have a double line on their right flank, and their center is going to be one straight line. And the Saracens finish it off by placing a reserve cavalry behind the others, and they are ready to get this thing started. There is your setup for the beginning of the game. They both chose wide fronts covering their entire lines. They also have wide open spaces for their cavalry to run through. By the way, most of these figures were painted by Joe Nacchio, who's one of our best painters. Let's get ready to wargame! So the Saracens are moving their camels up to the sand dune first, and they're considering moving the other cavalry. Yep, the left cavalry is moving up and doing a wide front. And they're going to back themselves up with more cavalry. So this is going to be way over on that left flank, right where we can't see them. That's just fantastic. And it looks like they're shooting, throwing their javelins. Oh, but their foot archers are pulling back. And going to go towards the left. This is all going to be towards the left, it looks like. Let's go to me on the field. Saracens had the first turn, and they have moved their camel riders up here. This cavalry went right up there and shot one of the, not knights, that's... Sergeants, one of the sergeants over there. These, they're actually Hearthguard, ran up to the building over here, shot in there, actually hit one of those, I want to call them knights again, but they're not, they're footmen sergeants. And over here, these archers were in the water, but they decided to come back here. They forgot to bring arrows. The military order took their first turn, and what a first turn it was. They sent out these infantry sergeants out of the building and hit a cavalry unit that was back here. We don't see it anymore because these sergeants came rushing up, sliced through them, went right up to this Hearthguard that was there, and they have pulled back here. You see that most of them are gone. They've really massacred them, but they are exhausted. You have three markers on them, and you have some camels right there. Meanwhile, over here you have these guys are starting to move forward a little bit. Saracens countered right here. The cavalry came in and hit the sergeants that were there. One guy survived, ran back to there, and the camels came over and shot him dead. And so that ends that charge. Military orders turn, and it seems that Allah is not with the Saracens right now because the sergeant came up here, pushed the camel riders back, and the knights are coming up behind them to put pressure on them. They have not hit them yet. They're on the sand dune, but they are threatening them, and the leader with some of his Hearthguarders starting to move up there. Saracens took their turn. They came up for a charge here, and apparently Allah has woken up because you can see their hit dice, or the dice they roll to hit, and they hit a lot. And they saved a lot, so apparently the Christian God is awake too, so they're battling it out. But they ended up taking out all of them except one. The flag bearer is still alive, standing back there laughing at them, so he still has one SAGA dice. Meanwhile, the Bedouins over here, which are really awesome, they are throwing their javelins over here and chopping down the knights that are down there, the Hearthguard. We discovered that they just keep on getting to activate until they get exhausted. So he went up to 2 fatigue and just kept knocking them down. So they're kind of doing a lot over there. This table is starting to look empty. They came in here, the Saracens came in here and knocked out that Hearthguard. Actually, this is Saracen Hearthguard as well. Knocked out their knights over there. The leader who's over there is getting a little bit scared, especially seeing as his side of the table is really empty. Meanwhile, the shooters have been taking out these knights from all these different angles. This battle is getting intense, and the 2 warlords are going at each other. The Crusader warlord has charged the Saracen warlord, and it looks like they're both causing each other damage. But the Saracen warlord got the best of them, and the Milites Christi one had to pull back. Let's go back to me on the field for some perspective. Alright, going back and forth, and the Milites Christi has moved up. Actually, the leader charged up there, the warlord, went up there, had a neat little duel with the other warlord, and pushed him back. The knights have pulled back to help their warlord, and these Knigets are coming out of their building. Actually, they're not knights, they're sergeants. They're coming out of the building after the enemy. The Saracens continue with their archery, shooting down a lot of the enemy, man. But that is what the Saracens are good at. They took down the knights, they're taking down some archers, and now they are charging the Crusader warlord. There's a bunch of them in there, including the Saracen warlord. The Saracens bleed off some of their cavalry, but then they take down the Crusader warlord. My God, that is a mighty blow to the Milites Christi. Saracens moved forward and took out the warlord. Very big turn there. managed to take out the Milites Christi Warlord, and then he bravely ran away so that he wouldn't get hit by those archers. Of course, he left his men behind. He left his bugler behind to, you know, insult them as he runs away. Also added to that, these archers shot over here and took out the knights. So this table is really pretty darn empty. Coming back, the archer shot over here and took out the bugler. And it ends with not many units on the table. This game really went with a lot of back and forth there. You had at one point the Milites Christi about to win, and then another moment the Saracens winning, and you just wound up with a lot of dead on the table. Anyway, the last thing that happened were the bowmen shot back and forth. Actually, these bowmen shot at the crossbowman, took out a guy. The crossbowman stepped forward and took out one of the cavalry.
Well, got pretty dicey at turn 2. I drew him in using one of the Saracen powers, but it was kind of touch and go for a couple turns, and as it continued on, I was able to shoot more and more troops off, and also charge with the Warlord and a unit of the Hearthguard, mounted Hearthguard, and I was able to prevail.
Killing Infidel worked. A lot of Infidel died. However, even more Crusaders died. So it didn't work quite right. It was a fun game, a lot of excitement. Unfortunately for the Crusaders, their dice kind of went cold as the game wore on, and the bowmen from the Saracens really came to life, and it was a painful day to be a Crusader.
Our MVP for this particular one, the Sand Dune. That'll do it for us here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and happy gaming, everybody.